Hello guys, welcome to another discussion in fluid mechanics and hydraulics. At this juncture, we're actually done with the topics in fluid mechanics and this is our first topic naman kay hydraulics. Now if you can remember last time we have defined that fluid mechanics is more on the conceptual side while sa hydraulics naman will be on the application side. Now that is still true naman para dun sa mga susunod nating mga discussion. For our lecture number 8, we have the fundamentals of fluid flow. So sinabing fundamentals, basically, ito yung pinaka basics of the basics pagdating kay fluid flow. Now for our introduction, so the previous topics deals only with the fluids at rest in which the only significant property used is the weight of the fluid. This discussion will deal with fluids in motion which is based on the following principles. Now, meron tayo ditong tatlong main principles kung saan iikot ang ating mga discussion pagdating kay fluid flow. So, una dito, we have the principle of conservation of mass. Now, this principle states that mass can neither be created nor destroyed within a closed system. Now, in other words, for example, sa isang pipe na lang, kasi yun naman yung medyo malapit sa fluid flow. So, kung ano man daw yung pumasok na volume ng water or liquid dun sa isang pipe, yun din yung lalabas. Assuming that the system or the pipe itself is a closed system. Meaning walang ibang external factors na pwedeng maka-affect doon. So that's basically what principle of conservation of mass means. So kung ano man yung pumasok, yun din yung lalabas. So in fluid mechanics, this principle implies that the mass of fluid entering a controlled volume is equal to the mass leaving it, provided there is no accumulation within the system. Now, another principle is the principle of conservation of energy. Now, this is similar dun sa ating principle of conservation of mass. It's just that it is now referring naman dun sa ating energy. So, this principle also states na nakukonserve din yung energy. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nadadagdagan, hindi rin nababawasan. However, pagdating dito kay energy, pwede kasi siyang mag-change ng form from one to another. So dito ang mga common na energy na alam natin is the kinetic energy and the potential energy. Now, madi-discuss naman natin itong later on, no? Sa kinetic energy, that's due to the motion. And then the potential energy, dalawa kasi siya, due to the position and due to the elevation. Now, which together govern the behavior of fluids as expressed in the energy equation such as Bernoulli's equation. And the third one is the principle of conservation of momentum. Now, this principle actually na-tackle naman na siya natin last time kay relative equilibrium. So if you can remember, so dinerive naman natin yung ating formula. Kung tandaan nyo pa ito, F is equal to MA. Pero ang gamit kasi natin last time is this is the reverse effective force. Pero doon napakita natin that the change in momentum actually will give us this equation, the second law of motion ni Newton. So this principle is applied to analyze forces in fluid flow systems and is fundamental in understanding fluid motion and interaction with boundaries. No, yung unang dalawang principle natin actually sila yung main pagdating sa mga unang topics natin kay hydraulics, and etong si momentum ay mas madalas makikita na lang natin siya dun sa mga latter part, specifically dun kay hydrodynamics. Okay? So, for this one, we have the discharge or the flow rate. So, etong discharge, ang ginagamit natin notation sa kanya ay yung capital Q, letter Q, or uppercase na Q. So, by definition, it is the amount of fluid passing a section of a string in unit time is called the discharge. So, dito, ang tinutukoy nating amount of fluid passing, so when we say amount naman, we can express that as the volume. So, per unit time, basically. So, that's the volume divided by time. So, this one, this is equal dun sa ating tinatawag na discharge. Now, pagdating kay discharge, meron tayong tatlong version niya. So you have the volume flow rate, mass flow rate, and then the weight flow rate. And by the way, no, dito sa discharge, so this is sabi natin, this is volume over time. So of course, yung unit niya, pwede natin siya express. So ano ba ang common na unit ng volume? That's cubic meter. Common unit ng time, hindi naman common. So isa lang naman ang unit ng time natin. That's seconds, minutes, hours, and so on. So cubic meter per second is a common unit pagdating kay discharge. Now, hindi lang naman eto ang ating formula for the discharge. So pwede siyang maging Q, maging M, maging W. So etong si Q, the volume flow rate, this is the same dito kay volume over time na formula natin, no? So yung value nila is actually parehas, mag-ibang formula lang. So dito ang Q natin can also be expressed in terms of the product ng area of flow times the velocity of flow. So this is still cubic meter per second. For example, ang area natin can be expressed in terms of the unit na square meter. While si velocity naman, di ba, pwede natin siya express as meter per second. So this is basically the same as cubic meter per second. And also, syempre, convert nyo na lang siya if ever na English units naman. Now, dito naman sa ating mass flow rate. Kasi mass flow rate is defined by the formula density times the discharge or the volume flow rate. Now, dito, ibang version lang siya ng flow rate. So, basically, in terms of mass siya. Ito kasi in terms of volume. Ito naman mamaya is in terms of weight. Now, pagdating naman dun sa kanyang unit, so ito, density times discharge. So, di ba ang ating density, alam natin ang unit niya, kilogram per cubic meter, metric. Pagdating kay discharge, so ang unit niya ay cubic meter per seconds. So, this cancels. Basically, si mass flow rate ang isa sa mga common na unit niya, kilogram per seconds. Dito naman kay weight flow rate, that's the unit weight times the discharge. So, sa unit weight, ang unit niya, say, Newton per cubic meter. Multiply mo ng discharge na cubic meter per second. So, this cubic meter cancels. Ang matitira, that's Newton per seconds. So, kung papansin ninyo, magkakaiba lang sila ng unit. So, eto, volume yung nasa taas. Yung eto, mass yung nasa taas. Eto naman, weight yung nasa taas. So, lahat sila is with respect to the change in time. So, these are the different expression ng ating discharge. So, ito naman yung ating mga notations. So, and then yung mga common na unit na ginagamit natin para sa kanila. Next one is the types of flow. So, dito ang nalagay ko lang ata sa 4, pero hindi lang naman limited sa 4 na type of flow ang meron tayo, no? Pero eto muna ang mga nalagay ko dito ay yung mga significant lang para dito sa ating fundamentals. So, una, we have the steady flow. So, it is the type of flow wherein the velocity of the fluid is constant at any point. When kabaliktaran yan, unsteady, when the flow is unsteady, the fluid's velocity can differ between any 2 points. So dito, for example, ang ating velocity, sabi niya siya ay constant at any point. So kung meron tayong flow dito from point 1 to point 2, so at any point daw dyan, constant ang velocity. So kahit ano man yung piliin mong section dyan. Now dito kasi merong halos parehas sila ng definition. Yun yung tinatawag naman nating uniform flow. So this occurs if with steady flow for a given length or reach of a stream, the average velocity of flow is the same at every cross-section. Parang medyo same ng meaning, no? Pero just to differentiate the two, eto, si steady flow natin, sulat ko na lang. So pag sinabi natin steady flow, dito kasi ang concern natin is the velocity. So steady and uniform, parehas na about the velocity. Pero ang pinagkaiba nila, eto, change in velocity with respect to the change in time is equal to 0. While eto naman si unsteady, syempre hindi siya 0. Ibig sabihin, nagva-vary ang kanyang velocity with respect to time. While for this one, kay uniform flow, So, constant pa rin yung kanyang velocity, pero it is with respect to the given length or reach. Ibig sabihin, the change in velocity with respect to the change in position is equal to 0. I hope nage-gets yung pinagkaiba nila, no? Eto, at any given time, constant yung kanyang velocity. Dito naman, at any given section, constant ang kanyang velocity. So, I hope malinaw yung pinagkaiba nila, no? And then, the fourth one, we have the continuous flow. So, dito naman, the discharge is constant at every section. So, dito, ang change in the discharge with respect to the change in time is equal to 0. So, hindi nagbabago ang discharge niya. So, kung ano yung pumasok dito sa section 1, ganun din karami yung lalabas dito kay section 2. Okay? Next, we have the continuity equations. Now, itong si continuity equations, actually based siya dito kay continuous flow natin. Di ba kakabanggit lang natin kung ano man yung pumasok na amount ng liquid dito kay section 1, yun din yung dapat yung lalabas. So, basically, constancy, discharge. So, we can say that Q1 is equal to Q2. So, remember the formula ng Q, di ba? We can express it as the product ng area and velocity. Pwede nating sabihin na si area 1 V1 equal siya kay area 2 V2. Now, para mapanatili nating constant yung ating discharge, so as you can see naman, magkaiba sila ng area. So, mas malaki na hamak si area 2 kaysa kay area 1. So, sa tingin nyo ba, possible kayang mangyari yan in actual? So, medyo siguro, kung by the figure lang ang titingnan natin, so parang hindi kasi mukhang dito sobrang laki ng cross section ng tubig pero dito sobrang liit. Pero actually, ah, kung titingnan natin, just to imagine na lang, para kayong merong hose ng tubig na merong dumadaloy na tubig. So, na-try niyo na ba siyang takpan bahagya yung butas? So, if you can imagine, no? Di ba pag tinatakpan niyo ng bahagya yung butas ng hose, so, bumibilis din yung pag-agos ng tubig, yung pagbulwak ng tubig. So, anong nangyari kasi dito, just to make the discharge constant, to remain constant, so, kung magkaiba man yung area ng flow natin, so, ang nag-a-adjust dyan is yung velocity. For example dito, kapag sobrang liit nung area, sobrang laki naman ng velocity. Dito nun kay area 2, sobrang laki nga yung area niya, pero sobrang liit naman ng kanyang velocity. So, I hope na gets yung point na yun, no? Now, from this continuous flow, actually, doon nag-originate din itong mga continuity equations natin. Now, meron tayong dalawang klase. So, for incompressible and then for compressible fluids. So, for incompressible fluids, ang constant ay ang volume flow rate. Pagdating naman kay compressible fluids, ang constant ay si mass flow rate and then si weight flow rate. So, sa discharge, diba, ito yung formula niya. So, area times velocity. So, constant yan. Basically, kahit anumang point ang consider mo dun sa ating system. Ganun din dito kay compressible. So, mass flow rate. So, mass flow rate at 0.1, 0.2, and 0.3. Same with the weight flow rate ay constant lang at any section dun sa ating system. Next, we have the energy and head. So, dito, importante na maintindihan natin ano yung ibig sabihin ng dalawang term na to. So, pag sinabi nating energy, it is defined as the ability to do work. Now, dito, ang ating unit for energy and work ay actually parehas lang. So, it is expressed in terms of Newton meter. So, etong si Newton meter, so yan ay equal dun sa unit na joules. So, si joules equal lang siya kay Newton times meter na unit. So, kay English, that's pound-foot. So, kinetic energy and potential energy are the two commonly recognized forms of energy. In a flowing fluid, potential energy may in turn be subdivided into energy due to position or elevation above the given datum line and energy due to pressure in the fluid. While head is the amount of energy per Newton or per pound of tubig. Kapag sinabi nating energy, so this energy kasi siya yung nagko-cause ng flow sa isang liquid. So, energy is what causes the motion. And it is also said na from point 1 to point 2, so magkakaroon ng flow kapag mas malaki yung energy sa isang point. For example, dun sa ating figure, balikan natin ito. So dito, masasabi natin na ang flow ng tubig ay from point 1 to point 2. So magiging ganyan yung direction ng flow if yung energy at point 1 is greater than the energy at point 2. So yun yung significance ng energy natin, no? While ang tinutukoy naman natin na head dito is actually the expression ng energy na to in terms of a column of fluid or a column of liquid. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, so mas malaki yung energy, mas malaki din yung head. So, etong si head actually we can name it as energy head. Kumbaga hindi lang or mas sanay lang tayo na head yung ginagamit nating term para sa kanya. So, ulitin natin, mas malaking energy means mas malaking head din. So, vice versa, mas malaking head means also mas malaking energy. Kasi si head is actually the amount of energy possessed per Newton of fluid. And for this head, meron tayong iba't ibang klase sa kanya. So, ito na yung mga yun. So, first, we have the kinetic energy and the velocity head. So, it is the ability of a mass to do work by virtue of its velocity. The kinetic energy of a mass having a velocity is, so ito yung ating formula, no? So, I hope familiar naman lahat to from physics. So, kinetic energy is equal to the 1/2 mv squared, where m is the mass and v is the velocity. So dito, ang ating mass can be expressed as weight over the acceleration due to gravity. So this is staying with the formula na W is equal to mg. So pinalitan lang natin, in-extract natin yung m. So dito, if we substitute this m dito sa ating equation ng kinetic energy, we get that the velocity head is equal to velocity squared divided by g. Siguro para mas maintindihan, no? When we say head, ang definition kasi ng head, basically, H or the head is equal to the energy divided by its weight. Masakit sa mata ang kulay red, gawin ko na lang siyang black. So for example, dito, if we want to get the velocity head, we use the kinetic energy and divide it with its weight. Now dito, ang kinetic energy natin, by formula, that is 1/2 mv squared. So divide it with W na weight. Now from this one, sabi natin si M, pwede natin siyang palitan ng W over G while multiplying with V squared and then divide it by W. Na if we simplify this, magka-cancel yung W. So ang matitira, V squared tapos sa ilalim merong 2G. That's basically V squared over 2G. So ganyan na-derive yung ating velocity head. So just substitute energy over weight. So ito yung general formula natin, no? Pagdating kay head. Regardless kung anong energy ang gamitin mo. So just be specific, no? Kung velocity head, kinetic energy ang gagamitin. And pagdating kay itong dalawang ito, pressure head and then elevation head, so ang gagamitin mo naman is si potential energy. So dito, ang ating gravitational potential energy, so by formula that's mgz. So Z yung ginagamit pero sa physics kasi it is commonly mgh. Yun yung formula natin. So dito, sige, gamitin natin muna yung h. So to get the elevation head, so that's still an h. So that's potential energy divided by its weight. So ang potential energy due to the gravity, that's m, g, and h. While si weight, 'di ba si weight sabi natin equal lang din naman siya kay mg. So magka-cancel lang. So basically si h equal lang siya kay h. So kaya hindi h yung ginagamit natin kasi magiging parehas sila ng notation. So dito yung z natin basically that's an elevation from a set na from a reference point na tinatawag nating datum. So for example, magse-set kayo ng reference point, let's say ito yung ating datum line. And then, baga ito yung point mo, let's say, meron kang elevated na tank. Ito yung tubig niya. And then, you can say that from the datum line, this is 2 meters. So, etong location ng 2 meters, actually, kayo yung magsiset niyan. So, depende kung saan nyo gustong ilagay. So, gusto nyo 2 meters below the bottom ng ating tank, or kung gusto mo naman, 10 meters below the bottom of the tank, okay lang siya. Ang importante kung ano yung sinet mong reference considering ang isang system natin, kung maging consistent na siya regardless kung anong kino-consider mong point dun sa system na yan. So, kung gusto nyo, pwede rin nandito ang ating datum line just below nung pinaka-tank natin. So, okay lang din na nandyan yung datum line nyo or the reference plane. So, walang limitation naman na nagsasabi na dapat ganito or ganyan yung location ng datum. Pero, siguro wag niyo na lang pahirapan yung sarili niyo 'no. Kasi minsan, siyempre eto si elevation, importante rin yung direction. So, possible na from a reference point, positive or negative yung elevation ninyo. Siguro wag niyo na lang i-set yung reference niyo wherein magpo-produce siya ng negative na elevation, para hindi na kayo mahirapan. So, eto yung ating elevation head and then the other is the pressure head. So, si pressure head is expressed as P over gamma. Now, kung gusto niyo makita pa rin yung definition, 'di ba sabi natin si H equal siya kay potential energy divided by weight. Si potential energy natin, that's mg times H divided by weight. Now dito, si M express ulit natin as the ratio ng W over G, while si H pwede natin siyang express in terms of P over gamma. So eto rin yung formula natin 'di ba kay principles of hydrostatics, eto rin yung ginagamit natin sa kanya dati. Now if we substitute everything, so si pressure head equal siya kay W over G times G times P over gamma divided by weight. So everything cancels except P over gamma. Wherein, so kung gusto niyo mang rectang derivation, so 'di ba tandaan niyo yung formula na 'to kay hydrostatics, P is equals to gamma times H. So this is the pressure caused by this unit weight. So etong H na 'to is the height of a column or a liquid which produces this magnitude ng pressure. So from this, ito lang din naman yan. That's H is basically P over gamma. Pero ito ang derivation natin kung gusto niyo siyang i-relate dun sa ating energy over weight na formula. So this is the pressure energy and pressure head. So dito, bali isang head para kay kinetic energy and then dalawang head para kay potential energy. So in total, meron tayong tatlong energy, tatlong klase din ng head. Now, pag pinag-add natin yung tatlong yun, ang tawag natin doon is the total energy or the total head. So ito naman yung mga yon. So the total energy, so dagdag mo lang lahat ng energy, kinetic, pressure, and then elevation. Ganon din dun sa kanyang head, velocity head, pressure head, and then elevation head. So by formula, ito yon. Ito yung ating velocity head, ito yung ating pressure head, ito yung ating elevation head. So ipag-add lang natin lahat to get the total. Now, etong equation na 'to, ito na kasi yung gagamitin natin para dun sa ating mga energy equations. So ito yung ating mga notations and with their common na units. Okay. Next is we have the hydraulic grade line. So, si hydraulic grade line is actually a line that can be drawn if you add yung ating mga potential energies or potential head. So dito, ito yung ating datum line. So let's say ito yung ating setup. Meron tayong isang pipe. Kikita naman yung direction of flow. And then nagbigay tayo ng dalawang piezometer at point 1 and then at point 2. So dito, ang ating hydraulic grade lines, basically madodrawing natin siya if from point 1 to point 2, for example, series of points. So itong mga point na to, kinonsider mo lahat. Tapos yung mga point na yan, kinuha mo lahat ang kanilang elevation head plus yung kanilang pressure head. So yung elevation head plus pressure head kasi, basically yun yung total na potential head natin. So remember, dalawa, kay potential, isa kay kinetic. So kapag pinag-add mo lahat yung potential head nila, tapos ginawa mo yon for series of points sa isang line, tapos drawing mo or plinat mo yung mga points na yun, so magdodrawing natin yung ating hydraulic grade line. And isa pang characteristic ng ating hydraulic grade line, it actually follows the water level dun sa ating mga piezometer sa ganitong klase ng setup. And the slope or the pinaka-orientation ng ating hydraulic grade line is actually always parallel dun sa direction or orientation din ng ating flow. So, sa hydraulic grade line, sum ng potential heads. While si energy grade line, ito naman ang definition niya. So, siya naman ay sum ng lahat ng heads. So, eto si hydraulic grade line kanina. So, I hope nakikita yung ating cursor. So, hydraulic grade line, ang pinag-add mo lang si C na elevation head plus P over gamma na pressure head. So, para makuha mo naman si energy grade line, so mag-extend ka pataas ng, so etong V squared over 2G natin, yan yung ating velocity head. So, dito, si energy grade line is always above ng ating hydraulic grade line. Kasi si hydraulic grade line, sum lang siya ng potential heads, while si energy grade line, sum siya ng lahat ng heads including the kinetic. So, dito actually meron tayong mas detailed na description yung dalawang lines na yan. So, HGL and EGL both slopes downward in the direction of flow. So, dito kay HGL, it may rise or fall due to the change in pressure, while kay EGL, it will only rise with the presence of pump. So, babalikan natin. So, ito yung direction of flow from point 1 to point 2. So, slope downward yung ating dalawang line with respect to the direction of flow. So, same with this. From this tank, ang tubig magpo-flow papunta dun sa mas maliit na tank kasi mas konti yung laman niya. So, mag-slope downward yung ating EGL and HGL. So, other characteristics, dito muna tayo kay HGL. So, HGL is parallel to EGL for uniform pipe cross-section. So, ang example niyan, itong unang figure natin. So, parallel si EGL kay HGL kapag uniform. So, ang tinutukoy nating pipe is ito yung pipe na yan, so ang nilagay kasi natin na dalawang nakatayong pipe na yan, yung epitsometer lang, basically they are just there to measure the amount of pressure at each point. Pero ang ating pipe talaga is nandito, itong mas malaking pipe natin. So kapag constant daw yung cross-section ng pipe natin, always parallel si EGL kay HGL. As you can see dito kay second na figure natin, hindi na parallel yung dalawang lines kasi hindi na magkaparehas yung diameter dun sa point 1 and point 2 natin. Okay, another characteristic, so for horizontal pipes with constant cross-section, the drop in pressure gradient between 2 points is equivalent to the head loss between these 2 points. So, alam na natin ano yung ibig sabihin ng head. So, meron naman tayong tinatawag na head loss. So, basically, sabi natin kanina, si energy is what causes the flow. And then, mas malaking head ay mas malaking energy din. So, pwede nating sabihin that ang nagko-cause ng flow is actually yung head din na tinatawag natin. Ngayon, yung head na nagko-cause ng flow ngayon, pwede kasing mabawasan yun due to other factors. Ang main na factor na yun is actually friction. Pero meron pang iba't ibang factors, no? Pero ang pinakamalaking reason bakit nagkakaroon ng head loss is actually the friction. So, friction, syempre, habang dumadaloy yung tubig sa pipe, so nagkakaroon ng friction between the fluid particles in the surface ng pipe. So, that's friction. So, nababawasan yung head. So, dito, ang sabi, so, ang drop in pressure gradient between those 2 points is equivalent to the head loss. So, babalikan natin yung figure. So, ano man yung drop dun sa ating pressure gradient. So, itong mga, so for example, dito kay HGL natin. So, this is 0.1. Palit na lang ako ng kulay. So, ito yung 0.1. Ito yung original na horizontal niya. and then nandito si point 2. So, kung ano man yung change in the vertical neto, basically yan yung tinutukoy natin as head loss. And that's actually the same din pagdating kay EGL. So, kay EGL naman, it slopes downward with the direction of flow. Vertical drop of EGL between 2 points is the head loss between those 2 points. So, vertical drop, so yun yung tinutukoy niya dito. So, drop in pressure gradient is equal to the head loss. So, dito, EGL is always above the HGL by V squared over 2G. Kasi nga, si HGL, siya ay summation lang ng potential head. Nasobrahan na. So, si HGL, ulitin natin, siya ay summation lang ng potential head. So, kailangan mong dagdagan ng velocity head para makuha mo naman si energy grade line. And then, neglecting head loss, EGL is horizontal. So, dito, kung wala daw head loss, so ang ating EGL na nandito ay horizontal. So, dito, since parallel, di ba? Parallel si HGL kay EGL. So, kung ano man yung horizontal na drop dito, ito na rin ay parehas lang doon sa ating head loss kay HGL dito. Now, kung wala daw tong head loss na to, basically, magiging horizontal yung ating EGL. So, I hope that's clear. Next, so we have the Bernoulli's energy theorem. So, ito is actually yung pinaka-theorem natin kapag walang head loss. Pag sinabi nating walang head loss, so ito yung itsura ulit, balikan natin, horizontal yung EGL. Kapag horizontal yung EGL, basically, yung initial na energy equal lang siya dun sa final na energy. So, this is straight up yung ating conservation of energy. So, neglecting head loss, the total amount of energy per unit weight is constant at any point in the path of flow. Now, see, energy natin, ito yung ating kanyang formula, di ba? Summation ng velocity, pressure, and then elevation. Hence. So, E1 is equal to E2. So, wala pang head loss. So, yan yung unang energy equation natin actually. And then, meron din tayong energy equation mamaya, or ito na pala, kapag meron namang head loss. So, ito ay yung kadugtong ni Bernoulli. So, ito ang itsura ng isang system na walang head loss. As you can see, yung ating EGL ay horizontal. So, si HGL still follows the orientation ng flow. So, ang ating HGL, so just the sum ng potential head and then extend up para makuha si EGL by adding the velocity heads. So, yan ang sample na drawing ng dalawang lines natin kapag walang head loss. Then, eto naman kapag mayroon. So, dito, kapag meron ng kinukonsider na head loss, so ang ating equation na E1 equals to E2 plus HL. Now, originally, no, ang equation kasi na talaga dapat niyan, that's E1 minus HL equal to E2. Now, etong E1, siya yung initial. So, mababawasan siya dahil dun sa mga external factors or factors sa mismong system natin na nagbabawas tong energy na to. Siyempre, pag binawasan mo siya, mas malit na yung value niya. So, dito yung ating E2 is less than the E1. Kasi, binawasan mo siya ng HL. Now, speaking with the equation itself lang, so para lang mas maging maayos, so normal na ginagawa instead of using this E1 minus HL equals to E2, so nililipat mo na lang. Di ba pag nagtatranspose naman tayo, pag nilipat mo itong negative dun sa kabilang side ng equation, magiging positive. Pero if you want to use this equation na merong minus, okay lang din naman siya. Pero siguro mas ma-appreciate nyo mamaya pag pinakita natin yung buo, bakit siya nililipat. So, E1 is equals to E2 plus HL. So, extract or expound nyo lang yung ating kumpletong expression ng ating mga energy. So, velocity, pressure, and then elevation. So, as you can see dito, hindi na horizontal yung ating AGL. So, hindi rin siya parallel, no, kay HGL kasi hindi naman constant yung cross-section ng ating pipe. So, this is the energy equation considering head loss. Ito naman ang energy equation natin kapag mayroong pump. So, pag sinabi nating pump, basically, ang ginagawa niya, nag-a-add siya ng head dun sa ating system. 'Di ba sabi natin si head is what causes the flow, kasi mas malaking head ay mas malaking energy. Now eto for example sa mga medyo marami-raming palapag na building, 'di ba minsan nahihirapang umakyat yung tubig sa mga, say mga 10th floor without the use of pump. So 'pag mataas na kasi yung elevation na aabutin basically, example dito, let's say si Z1 natin is nasa ground. Basically yung Z1 mo siya ay 0. Tapos si Z2 mo naman, eto let's say siya ay say 30 meters. So 30 meters siya, so assuming na halos parehas lang yung value ng velocity head and pressure head nila. So eto yung kailangan mong ma-reach na energy at point 2, while initially 0 ka pa lang. So siyempre para maabot mo yung required dun sa point 2 kailangan mong magdagdag kasi nga mas maliit yung initial kaysa dun sa final. So dito, in other words, so si E1 mas maliit siya kumpara kay E2. So dito kasi ang kailangan mo para magkaroon ng flow at least si E1 is greater than siya kay or greater than or equal siya kay E2. Pero for this case 'pag wala ka kasing pump, ang ating energy, so si E1 ay less than E2. So siyempre para maging at least equal man lang siya or even greater than, etong si E1 kailangan mong dagdagan. So ang dinadagdag natin diyan is yung head added or yung HE natin diyan. So ang nagdadagdag ng head added is basically the pump. So ang itsura ng AGL and HGL natin ay ito pa rin. So yung HGL is the hydraulic grade line, yung solid na line naman natin is the energy grade line. So ang hidden or broken line is the HGL lang. Okay? So another type of energy equation ay kapag meron namang turbines. So dito naman, so kabaliktaran siya ni pump. So si pump kasi nagdadagdag ng head, ito naman si turbines or turbines, however you pronounce it, ay nagbabawas naman ng head. So dito nagbabawas ng head, for example, galing sa mataas na elevation yung supply, tapos pababa siya sa isang pipe system or pipe network. So siyempre, 'pag bumababa yan merong effect din yung gravity. So remember yung mga common na problems natin kay free fall, kay physics? So ire-release mo siya sa isang elevation, 0 ang initial na velocity pero pagbagsak niya sa ground mabilis na yung velocity niya. So the same principle. So manggagaling sa taas yung tubig or fluid, bubulusok siya pababa. So siyempre yung pagbulusok na yun, possible mag-cause siya ng destruction ng mga pipes, mga fittings or even mga equipments natin dito sa babang part. So to prevent that, so kailangan mong bawasan yung head. So yun yung silbi naman ng ating turbine. So dito, meron kang head extracted. So ang case naman dito ngayon, si E2 is greater than kay E1 ng sobra-sobra, let's say gano'n ang case. So para maging sakto lang, kailangan mong bawasan si E2. Or basically parang maging equation natin, sorry baliktad pala. Si E1 ay sobrang laki compared kay E2. So para maging sakto lang, kailangan mong bawasan si E1. So bawasan mo ng head extracted para maging sakto lang na E2 or kung mag-i-exceed man, konting-konti lang, hindi siya sobrang-sobra. So dito ang ginagawa ulit, minus ito nililipat sa kabilang side para maging plus. So kaya ang equation natin, this is basically E1 equal to E2 plus head extracted. Pero this is basically galing dito, no? So head extracted or E1 minus head extracted equals to E2. Okay, so that's the energy equation with turbines. And then kung gusto niyo namang meron lahat, so 'di ba meron tayo, pwede kasing merong maging head loss, pwedeng maging meron ding pumps, merong turbines and so on. So actually kung gusto niyong makuha yung kumpletong energy equation natin, so ang ginagawa, dito ko na lang isulat sa taas, ha. So E1 plus head added equal siya kay E2 plus head extracted plus head loss. So yan yung kumpleto kapag meron silang lahat. So dito kasi parang meron tayong 4 case, ito ang pang-5 pag kumpleto. Ang case 1, walang head added, walang head extracted, walang head loss, yun yung Bernoulli. And then kapag merong head loss, meron lang HL. And then kapag merong HA and HE, kapag meron namang pump and turbine. So yung E1 and E2 diyan, so expound nyo na lang yung summation ng heads natin. Okay? Next, we have the power and efficiency. So yung ating mga turbines and pumps, basically they are motors. Mga equipment pa rin sa na merong motor na kailangan mo ng power para gumana sila. So dito, ang formula ng power ng mga pumps and turbine natin is defined by this equation. So gamma Q times E. Gamma is the unit weight, Q is the discharge, and E is the energy. Si energy na to, so dalawang case natin, 'di ba? Both of this, etong formula natin na power related kay pumps and turbines. So dito, ang E natin, so nakalagay naman dito sa ating note. So ang E dun sa ating equation dapat in terms of meters siya or in terms of feet kapag English units. So yung E na yan, ang gagamitin mo is yung head added kapag pumps ka. Ang gagamitin mo naman na E ay H extracted kapag turbines. So, 'di ba dun sa ating mga equation, so itong mga 'to, merong mga head extracted, merong mga head added. So, from these equations ng energy, pwede nating mahanap yung mga HA and HE na yan. So, if ever natatanungin later on, ano yung mga power or ano yung power required to operate those turbines or pump, yun yung sasalpak nyo dito sa ating E. Kasi etong unit weight and discharge, commonly, pinibigay naman sila. Now, meron din tayong formula for efficiency. So, hindi naman lahat ng, kumbaga, ito yung tinatawag nating expectation versus reality. So, parang ganun ang dating niya. So, hindi naman yung, kumbaga, in-expect natin na magiging performance ng isang equipment. Kasi hindi naman siya 100% na ganun kapag actual. So, parang ganun ang dating niya. So, dito ang ating efficiency, yung output is divided by input times 100. So, this is commonly kasi expressed in terms of the percent. So, kung ano yung output lumalabas, divide mo ng power na pumapasok times 100. Now, dito, kapag ginamit nyo tong formula ng power, take note, kapag power yan, tapos ang ginamit nyo dito kay HE, palit ako ng kulay. Ang ginamit nyo dito kay E rather is the head added. So, ang makukuha nyo dito ay power output ni pump. Pump. Pero pag ang ginamit nyo naman is the head extracted, ang makukuha natin is yung power input of turbine. Ayan. So, tandaan nyo na lang ito, no? Kapag gagamitin nyo tong formula ng power. So, if ever na HA ang ginamit, ang lalabas na value ng power na yun ay output ng pump. Pag ginamit nyo naman si 8 head extracted, ang lalabas ay power input ni turbine. Okay? So, that's the end ng ating concepts para hindi masyado mahaba yung ating video. So, I'll stop muna this and then tuloy natin with the sample problems.